Welcome, foolish mortals. There's no turning back now.
That's right, foolish mortals. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is the Disney Life Happy Wife podcast. I am your host with the most. Hostess with the most. I don't even know what to say anymore. So I'm your host, Kristen, and you know me. If it's a Disney Life, then I'm a happy wife. This podcast, for people who have not been listening, is all about Disney. If you couldn't tell, Disney Life Happy Wife, all about Disney. And on this podcast, I talk about all things Disney. Not everything is Disney parks. It's not all Disney travel or toys or Disney movies, Disney books. It's everything. It's not just one Disney thing. And that's what I love about doing this podcast, is that I can bring my love of Disney to you guys. So welcome to this episode of the Disney Life Happy Wife podcast. So I hope everyone had a wonderful holiday season, no matter what holiday you celebrate. I hope it was wonderful, and I hope you had the best holiday season you could have. Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whichever holiday you celebrate. I'm sure I'm missing something. But whatever you celebrate, and I hope you had a wonderful New Year's Eve and a happy New Year. I hope you all continue to have a happy New Year for 2022, hoping this year is the best year yet. 2021 was kind of 2020 part 2, I guess we'll say. So hopefully 2022 is a bit better. Over the holidays, COVID actually struck my house. After having been so careful for so long, we unfortunately had COVID strike here. So, yeah, unfortunately. But, well, what can we do? We were very, very lucky, though. Emily and I both tested positive. My husband tested negative. Emily had no symptoms whatsoever. There was one day where I feel like she was a little bit fatigued. She might have been kind of run down a bit, but the day before she was, running around outside, and she didn't get a good night's sleep the night before. So that could have been the reason as well. So yeah, me on the other hand, well, I wasn't so lucky. I ended up, fever for a few days and headache, congestion. If you can tell, I'm still congested. And a little bit of a cough, not too bad. But overall, very, very lucky. COVID can be a lot worse. So we're very lucky that, everything has been the way that it's been. It wasn't any worse. So we're very lucky. And I'm very lucky that, my husband ended up not getting any symptoms at all, not getting it at all. It's crazy. Last year, around this time, my husband got sick. He got COVID, and Emily and I were both fine. And now it's like the reverse. This year, Emily and I both tested positive, and he was fine. So it's a little crazy, but it is what it is. So it ended up just being the three of us for the holidays. We didn't get to see any family or anything like that. But it was nice. We had a good time, just the three of us. So, like I said, I hope you guys had a great holiday season. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa. I'm not sure the correct terminology, so please excuse me about that. And hope you had a safe and happy New Year, and I hope you all continue to have a safe, healthy, and happy 2022. So, with what happened, I was getting into a good rhythm of every week episodes, and then all of a sudden COVID happened. So, kind of took a couple of weeks off, on the mend from COVID, and now I'm jumping right back into it. So hopefully, we won't get derailed again, and we can have episodes every single week. And something that I've been working on, which listeners may not know, is I have a YouTube channel now. All of my previous episodes are up on the YouTube channel. They're audio only. You'll see the Disney Life Happy Wife podcast image, and then just hear me talking like you would normally would. But starting with today's episode, you'll actually get to see my face if you go to the YouTube. So that's pretty cool. I got a really cool camera from my husband for Christmas because he knows that I'm starting this new adventure in vlogging. I'm a blogger. I have a blog, The Disney Roadie Mom. I have this podcast, which I love so much. And now I'm starting with the YouTube channel for the blog, but I also have this for the podcast. So he got me this really great camera. So I'm trying it out. So today's episode is at one angle. Next week's will be at another. The week after that, just trying trial and error, see which one I like the best and how I like it and all that kind of stuff. So with that being said, if you go to the YouTube channel, you can see me. So all of you who have been maybe wondering, hey, what does Kristen look like? Go to the YouTube channel. Check it out. Come see what I look like. So I will put the link to the YouTube channel in the show notes. But if you go to YouTube and you just type in the Disney Life Happy Wife podcast, it'll come right up. So head on over, check it out. All of the previous episodes are up there right now, and this episode should be out on Friday. So usually my podcast episodes will come out on Wednesday. YouTube videos will come out on Friday. So it gives me days to tweak everything. So there you go. I can't wait for you guys to check out my new YouTube. Trust me, hopefully my videos will get better as time goes by. So we'll figure things out. We'll figure things out. Don't worry. So there we go. There was my holidays, COVID, new YouTube. Woohoo! So excited about that. And I'm so excited. I can't wait for you guys to see it. So for those of you who are watching on YouTube, you can hear me talk about it on the podcast. But for who are looking at the YouTube right now, I want to throw a shout out to one of my favorite Disney apparel companies. So if you're a big Disney fan, you know that there are t-shirt companies and Mickey or Minnie ear companies, all that kind of stuff is out there, and I love all of that. I'm a huge Disney t-shirt fan. So I want to throw a shout out to one of my favorite companies. They made the knot band that I'm wearing right now, which I'm going to take the camera and kind of zoom in there a little. You get to see it a bit. And they made the t-shirt that I am wearing right now. There you go. So they are 1953 designs. If you head to Instagram, you can find them on there, 1953 designs. They are one of my favorites. They incorporate a lot of different aspects of Disney. It's not just, Disney princesses and stuff like that. Like they incorporate classic Disney movies. So the shirt that I am wearing today is their Sherwood Forest shirt, which I wore on my last trip to Disney, and I talked to a little boy about Robin Hood, so it was awesome. And I'm also wearing the Sherwood Forest Robin Hood knot band today as well to go with it. So definitely go check them out. I will put a link to them in the show notes as well. And if you go and you buy something, use code Kristen, KRISTING 15 at checkout, and you get 15% off. So head on over there and do that. Check out their shirts, check out the knot bands, check out everything that they have. They are amazing. So definitely go check them out and get the discount. So another shout out that I want to give, I usually do shout outs at the end, but I'm going to start doing it at the beginning. So another shout out that I want to give is also to an amazing network on YouTube. It's called the FPE Network, brought to you by, there's like a bunch of YouTubers, so definitely go check them out. Florida Park Explorers, the Disney Underground, just so many. So go check them out. I'm going to be, hopefully, fingers crossed, hopefully part of their network. I know that I'm going to be doing some work with them, kind of like an extra, just because I'm still building my YouTube, and I'm still building the podcast and everything. So hopefully get on there soon and check everything out. So if you're a big YouTube fan, go on there, check out the FPE Network, and see all of the great shows that they have available for you guys. And I promise If you're a Disney fan, you will not be disappointed, okay? If you are, I want you to message me. I want you to comment or email or anything, and I want you to let me know what you think, okay? So, there we go. So, on today's episode of the Disney Life Happy Wife, we are going to be talking about, I say we, me. I'm going to be talking about my favorite Disney leading ladies. My favorite leading ladies from Disney. I'm going to limit it to like a top 5. So whether they're from animated movies or live action movies, I'm going to give you guys my favorites. Not exactly, they may not all be princesses and stuff like that, but I'm going to let you guys know what my favorites are. And these are like my top 5. They're not in any specific order. It's not like, oh, this one's number 1. No, they're just like my top 5 favorite leading ladies in Disney. And I'll give you some honorable mentions after that. So like if I had like a bigger list, I could go on and on and on for all these amazing leading ladies that we have in Disney. So without further ado, let's get started. First off has got to be my favorite princess. So you think of Disney leading ladies and the first thing that usually pops into people's head is the princesses. So my favorite princess, and I'm pretty sure I've said this on the podcast before, is Ariel. She has been my favorite since I was a little girl. Since I was probably Emily's age, actually. Emily just turned 7 in December. So probably since she was that age, since I was that age, Ariel has been my favorite. I just love her. I still have vivid memories of being at a friend's house after the movie came out, taking out a cassette tape, that's how old I am, taking out a cassette tape and putting it in the tape deck, playing it, and us just singing Part of Your World over and over and over again. Rewind, sing it again, rewind, sing it again. It was great. I still have so many memories of that, and I always think about that when I watch The Little Mermaid, and the fact that Emily loves The Little Mermaid just makes it even better. One of my favorite Disney memories with Ariel has to be when we saw Ariel at Cinderella's royal table one of the times that we went, and she was so lovely to Emily, and she came over and Em got out of her seat, and this was obviously before the pandemic, and she came over and Emily got out of her seat and knelt down next to her, or stood next to her, and Ariel knelt down so she was Emily's height, I guess, and she just spoke to her and she hugged her, and I just fell in love with Em, and Em was just enamored with her, and she had to go talk to other kids, but she looked at Emily and she said, okay, I have to go see the other kids now, but I'll come back and see you. And I thought, oh, that's so sweet. She's saying that, just so Em doesn't get disappointed that she has to get up. But she did. She came back and saw Emily, and it was just wonderful. It was the best. I can't even describe, as a mother, the feeling. My favorite princess was so wonderful to Emily. I just love her. So there's no wonder that she's on this list. Ariel, so from the movies we know that Ariel was willing to give up everything in her life for the man that she loved, even if it meant dealing with probably one of the worst people ever, worst creatures. I don't know, what do we call it, Ursula? Creature? She's just evil. She's just mean. And definitely takes advantage of it. And so Ariel's willing to give up everything to be with Eric. And some people may view what she did as selfish, but I thought she was very brave. I thought it was very brave of her to do what she did, go into this world that she knew nothing about, and where she couldn't even speak to him, and try and win the man that she loved. And I just find her incredibly brave and incredibly strong that she did that. So there we go. It's no wonder she's on my list. I love her. Ariel's my favorite princess, so she's on my leading lady list. So next is a family favorite. she is not only one of my favorite leading ladies, but she's also probably my mom's favorite leading lady, talking about none other than Mary Poppins. Now, obviously Mary Poppins is not an animated movie, like I said, not all animated. I just love Mary Poppins. What's not to love? Like, she's just the best. And the fact that she swoops in, she hears, you know, the kids cry for help and what they're looking for in a nanny, and it's like the complete opposite of what their dad wants, and she wants to give the kids what they want to a point, you know, and she swoops in, and just her style and grace and poise, and just watching how she cares for these children who she's just met. You know, she has a firm hand, but she plays games and she sings songs, and they love her and she loves them. And in her own way, she shows Mr. Banks the error of his ways and shows him, you know, what these kids really need. And I think that that's wonderful. And of course, in this movie, you can't go wrong with two of the best songs ever. A Spoonful of Sugar, Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Even if you tried to get me to spell it, I probably could not spell it correctly. But two of the best songs, and of course, the actress who plays our female leading lady, Mary Poppins, the amazing Julie Andrews. And I mean, it doesn't get much better than her. Like, come on. She's just, Mary Poppins is just one of the best. And of course, she's also, you know, she's got the style and all of that, but she's also got amazing accessories to help her out. Can we talk about the umbrella? Can we talk about her parrot umbrella? She's got this very chic umbrella, and at the end is a parrot at the end, and he talks to her, and I love that. I want an umbrella that'll talk to me. I mean, that's so cool. And the carpet bag. Okay. All right. We got to talk about it. Who, especially moms out there, parents, I shouldn't say just moms, parents, who doesn't want a carpet bag that you can literally put anything in and it's like bottomless? Who doesn't want that? Who doesn't want a bag like that? And it's like, it's not this humongous bag. It's not, you know, it doesn't look like, you know, you're carrying around a suitcase. It just looks like this cute bag, and it's bottomless. I mean, come on, really? Like, I want that. I think that would be very useful. But, so, she has style, she has grace, she's got the accessories, she's just a wonderful person. I mean, she's practically perfect in every way, right? So, I don't know how you couldn't love her. If you don't love Mary Poppins, you need to let me know, and we need to talk about it, because she's amazing. So, there you go. So, moving on to our next leading lady is Tinkerbell. Tinkerbell is one of my favorite Disney characters. She's been one of my favorites for a very long time. My two favorite Disney characters are Tinkerbell and Mickey Mouse. They're pretty much tied. If I had to pick one, if I had to go between one or two, I'd probably pick the mouse, because, I mean, come on. But they're tied. They're tied for number one in my heart. Tinkerbell and Mickey Mouse. Now, when you first meet Tinkerbell in Peter Pan, she is jealous and she's bratty. And at first you don't like her. You're like, who is this? Who is this sassy little fairy? Like, what's going on with her? And then as the movie comes on, you know, you realize how much that she cares for Peter and she loves Peter. And then when she finds out that Captain Hook is going to hurt Peter, she flies to his rescue. I mean, she's willing to lay down her own life for Peter, and how wonderful is that? And then, so you don't really get to know a whole lot about Tinkerbell. You know that she's Peter's, you know, right hand. She's his sidekick, and And you just kind of see her in Peter Pan as this jealous and bratty little fairy who, you know, in the end saves Peter. But then Disney went ahead and made the fairies movies, the Tinkerbell fairy movies, and you're introduced to so much more about Tinkerbell. You see Tinkerbell's origin movie, how she came to be. You get to learn about her friends in Pixie Hollow. You get to see how she interacts with them, and you get to know so much more about Tinkerbell. You get to see who she really is, and she's not just, you know, what we think from Peter Pan. She's way more than that. She's inquisitive, she's brave, she's caring, she loves her friends and would do anything for them, and she's curious. I mean, she's wonderful. So, you know, all that stuff from the beginning of Peter Pan, put that aside, because, you know, Tinkerbell's wonderful. And there's no wonder why I love her. Is she perfect? No. Does she make mistakes? Of course. But the fact that she makes mistakes and she comes back and is like, hey, I'm not perfect. I am who I am, and, you know, that's what I am. You know, she may make the mistakes, but she comes back and she fixes them. She does everything she can to fix the problem. And being that kind of, I mean, she's a fairy, but being that kind of person, you know, that's pretty great. And, you know, if you're that kind of person where, you make mistakes, people make mistakes. If that happens, and you do everything you can to fix them, whether you fix them or not, you know, it shows that you're a good person, and shows that Tinkerbell is a good fairy person/fairy, I guess. That she's got character, and she is good. So that bratty, jealous fairy that we see, super sassy. I mean, I like the sass. But from the beginning of Peter Pan, move over. You know, you may not like her, go watch the fairy movies, because that will completely change your mind. Tinkerbell in ways reminds me a lot of Emily, because she's a lot like that. She's inquisitive, she's curious, she can be brave at times, I mean, she can be timid as well, but can't we all? And she loves her friends, she loves her family, so if Emily grows up to be like Tinkerbell, I think I'd be very happy about that. So, there we go. So, on to the next. So, we've talked about Ariel and Mary Poppins and Tinkerbell. Moving on, we're going to another princess. And she actually goes from princess to queen to spirit element. I don't really know what we call her at the end. Fifth spirit? If you know, just by that, if you know who I'm talking about, then you know who it is. I am talking about none other than Elsa. Elsa of Arendelle from Frozen. Now, I loved Elsa from before I saw the movies, because I knew she was voiced by one of my absolute favorite actresses, Adina Menzel. I have been an Adina Menzel fan for a very long time. I saw her in Wicked, when she was in Wicked on Broadway. I've just been a huge fan of hers for a long time. So when I heard she was going to be the voice of a Disney princess, I was like, oh my goodness, this has to, like, I have to see this. And then I watched Frozen, and I completely fell in love with Elsa. She is far from a perfect person, even though she tries to be perfect and tries to hold everything in. And when I first heard Let It Go, oh my gosh, I got chills. Chills! Let It Go, I got chills. So when we first meet Elsa, we see a girl who's scared. She just lost her parents. She has these amazing powers that she has no idea how to control. And she's doing the best she can. She doesn't want her sister to see the powers and know about her powers. She doesn't want anybody to know about them. So she's trying to hold that all in, that poor girl. Like, I mean, come on. And she's doing what she can. And then they come out. Everybody knows about it. So she runs. She's scared. And she runs. And through Frozen, we see Anna trying to get her sister back. Elsa, in the process of running, has set this storm in motion. Arendelle is covered in snow with, it looks like, no end in sight. And Anna goes to find Elsa and tries to talk to her about it, but Elsa is scared. You know, Elsa runs, and she thinks she's free. Anna can rule Arendelle. Elsa says, you know, I'm free. I can be who I am. I can't hurt anybody here. And then Anna finds her and says, well, there's endless snow in Arendelle now, and you can change it. And Elsa gets scared all over again. Ends up getting captured, and in the end, it's Anna who shows Elsa what she needs to control her powers, and that's love. So as you know, the story goes on, we know that there's a Frozen 2, and we see Elsa more confident in her powers. Yeah, she still has the world on her shoulders. She's the queen now. She's the queen of Arendelle. So she's got to do what's best for her family as well and her kingdom. So she's still got that burden. And you can tell that she really feels it. She really feels that burden and that pain. And she's trying to do what's best, and she's trying to not let things be the way that they were with her sister. And meanwhile, still protecting everybody. And through Frozen 2, you know, Elsa hears a voice, and they go searching for it, and they go to the Enchanted Forest, and they find all these people, and Elsa uses her powers, and she takes her family on this journey, and they find these people, and there's a spell, and they ended up breaking it, and Elsa goes on this journey to find, you know, to find this voice and find why it's calling her and find out what's going on. And in the end, she finds way more than she bargained for. She was always meant to be more than what she is. She was meant to be more than Elsa, Queen of Arendelle. She's Elsa, the fifth spirit. So we know that there's four different spirits. There's the Earth Giants, Bruni, I'm pretty sure I'm pronouncing that incorrectly. The fire spirit, he's a lizard. There's Gale, the wind, and there is the Water Knock, who's a horse, and he's the water spirit. So Elsa's kind of the one that brings them all together, and she's the fifth spirit. She's the one that brings that all together, and they say that the fifth spirit is the bridge between the elements and the human world. And little do they know that Queen Adina, their mother, they find out that she is part of this wonderful people who have been living in the Enchanted Forest, and she has created this bridge between the elements and the humans, or the people from Arendelle. She has created this bridge, and a bridge has two sides. Elsa, who's the spirit world, and Anna, who's human. So in the end, Elsa is free. You know, that's what she was looking for in Frozen. She wanted to be free, and she does gain more confidence in her powers and everything. And so in Frozen 2, she really is free, and Anna becomes queen in the end. So we got two queens going on. Elsa, who was queen, and then Anna, who is the new queen of Arendelle. So I just love Elsa. I mean, is she perfect? Like I was saying about Tinkerbell, is she perfect? No. But she's wonderful, and she's strong, and she does what she needs to do for her people and her family. And I think she's absolutely great, and of course she's voiced by one of my favorite actresses. So she's got to be on that list. She's got to be on the top. So next, and the last one that I'm going to talk about today, like I said, there's going to be honorable mentions, but she's from a brand new, the newest Disney movie, Encanto. Her name is Mirabelle. So Mirabelle comes from the Madrigal family. I did not say magical, I said madrigal family, and all of the members of the family have these wonderful gifts that they were given. And Mirabelle does not have a gift. She did not get one. And she's different from the rest of her family, and that's hard for her. But what Mirabelle doesn't realize is that she was meant to save her family. You know, something goes on with her house, and she can see, with her home, and she can see the cracking and the breaking, and that there is wavering in the magic that each of these people have. She can see her sister, her sister Louisa, who is super strong. She can see things happening there, and she can see other things happening with her sister Isabella, and she finds her Uncle Bruno and realizes that he had a vision about her, and she's thinking it's something bad, but in the end you realize that he had this vision, and it wasn't about Mirabelle destroying the family, it was about her saving the family. And that's exactly what happens. In the end, things are happening with the family and with their home, and it seems like all is lost. It's not. Mirabelle saves the day. If you have not seen Encanto, I'm sorry for the spoilers a little bit. Go see it. Phenomenal movie. The music, the story, it's just wonderful. You can go see it on Disney Plus now. It came out on Disney Plus on Christmas Eve. We watched it like 3 times since. Emily loves it. I love it. It's a fantastic movie. So, Mirabelle is number 5. I mean, it's not really. She's the 5th one I'm talking about today. It's not really in an order. But she's brave, and she's strong, and she's willing to do whatever needs to be done. You can see her face fears for her family and her home, and she's willing to do whatever it takes, and I think that is wonderful, and exactly what you would be looking for in an amazing leading lady, and she is that to a T. And if you watch Encanto, you will see that Mirabelle is not your typical, look-wise. She's not the typical perfect girl, perfect princess, like you would think that her sister is, which is another wonderful thing about her, is that she is smart and brave, and yeah, she can be kind of quirky, and she's just wonderful. Like, how do you not love her? And that's why she's on my list. So there you go. So that is my list. So again, about Mirabelle, every family would be lucky to have somebody like her. Every family would be lucky to have somebody like Maribel in their family. So, if you have not seen Encanto, go see it now. If you have Disney Plus, there's no excuse. It is on Disney Plus. Go watch it now. Okay? So, that is my list. There are my 5 top leading ladies. Like I said, they're in no order. It's hard to put them in order of who would be first. So, there's Ariel, Mary Poppins, Tinkerbell, Elsa, and Mirabelle from Encanto. So, that's it. Like I said, I'm going to give you some honorable mentions. If I could have a list a mile long, I would, and give you all of them. So honorable mentions, obviously, we could say the leading lady of Disney. So who's our leading man of Disney? Obviously Mickey Mouse. Our leading lady would be Minnie Mouse. If you don't love Minnie, I don't know what's wrong with you, because Minnie's awesome. Yes, she's not in my top 5, but I love her. And if I talk about her, I have to talk about Emily's favorite leading lady, or one of them, Daisy Duck. I mean, Daisy's sassy, and she's awesome. I love her. Love her to pieces. She's got to be a strong woman to put up with Donald. So, we'll say that. So, a couple of other... So, another princess who I absolutely love, Cinderella. Classic. Gotta love her. If we're bridging out into, like, Star Wars and the Marvel or MCU, so I also love Rey from Star Wars, Princess Leia. I mean, come on. And from Marvel, Captain Marvel. She's probably my favorite lady, leading lady from the Marvel universe is Captain Marvel. I think she's awesome. So yeah. Now, those are my favorite leading ladies and some honorable mentions. Those are my favorite. I want to know who your favorite leading ladies are. So go email me or DM me, comment on this video or where you're listening to the podcast, and let me know who your favorite leading ladies are, okay? Because I want to know. I want to know who your favorite leading lady is. If you have a number one, or if it's just if there's just somebody who's better in your heart than all, you know, who your top 5 would be. I would love to know that. And so, you know, send me a message and let me know. So where can you contact me? Email, you can send me an email at dlhwpodcast. So dlhwpodcast, all one word, at gmail.com. You can DM me on social media. I'm on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. So on Facebook and Instagram, it's the same. It's at Disney Life Happy Wife Podcast. So 5 words all in one. Disney Life Happy Wife Podcast. So at on Facebook and Instagram. And on Twitter, it is DLHW Podcast. Okay, at DLHW Podcast, just like the email. All right, you can send me messages there, comment on YouTube, on the YouTube channel. You can write a review or wherever. Just send me a message. Let me know. Let me know what you think. Send me, and you know, while you're at it, you know, if watching on YouTube, click like, subscribe, all of that good stuff, because I would love for you to keep checking out my YouTube channel since it's brand new. And definitely subscribe anywhere that you can listen to podcasts. Subscribe, like, review. I want to know all of it. Subscribe, likes, reviews, everything. I want to know what you think and how you feel about my podcast and my YouTube. I think that'd be great. So go there. So where can you listen besides YouTube and where you're listening now? You can listen to this podcast anywhere that you can listen to podcasts, pretty much. I'm on Apple. I'm on Amazon. I'm on Spotify, iHeartRadio. Anywhere you can listen to podcasts, you can listen to the Disney Life Happy Wife podcast. If you go somewhere and they don't have my podcast where you would listen, let me know and I will get registered with them. So anywhere you can listen to podcasts, you can listen to me. Send me a message, subscribe, all that kind of good stuff. So that is it for this week's episode, everybody. I'm so excited to be back in it and that I've got the new YouTube channel. So if you're seeing me, and I'm so excited to be bringing you fresh new episodes of the Disney Life Happy Wife podcast. Thank you for listening. I can't tell you enough how much I love doing this, and I love talking to you guys about Disney. It's one of my absolute favorite things. So thank you from the bottom of my heart for listening and for tuning in on YouTube if you are. I will be bringing you more episodes soon. I know one of the things that Emily and I have talking about is we're going to talk about the shorts that they have on Disney Plus. So there's a preview of a future episode. But there you go. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. I hope that you have a magical rest of your week, or continue to have a magical week, everybody. And I will see you real soon. Bye.
Now I and a ghost will follow you home.